And yeah, you're joining us this afternoon as we give a overview of the summer updates. You will have joined, I hope, hopefully earlier this year, another AJB webinar that I presented. This particular webinar is going to focus on some of our summer updates, so our summer schedule. We're in the midst of that as we speak, and just some updates from British Airways and Iberia specifically. There are some Finnair updates included as well. Unfortunately, Oksana from Finnair was not able to join us today, and unfortunately, American Airlines couldn't join us today. So predominantly it'll be BA, Iberia, and some Finnair updates. Okay, perfect. So these first 3 slides are a really useful overview and refresher on British Airways and our products and services. Contains a lot of information about the cabins on board, the onboard service, our lounges, our sustainability commitments. So there's a lot of information featured on these pages. I won't go through it word for word, but it's a very useful overview for those who are maybe not familiar with the BA product to review at your leisure. And after the webinar is over, I know Greg mentioned a copy of the recording will be shared, and a copy of the deck will also be shared so you can review the contents at your leisure. Perfect, thank you so much. So 2023 marked our busiest year since the pandemic. We carried more than 43 million customers traveling with us on more than 200 destinations across our global network. We delivered an operating profit of £1.4 billion with a 10% operating margin. And why is that important? Well, that means that it allowed us to invest more in our airline and new products and new services, many of which you'll see in our presentation today. We also continue to see demand for travel recover, and we flew 90% of our 2019 capacity. In 2023, we launched new routes. We strengthened both our long and our short haul networks. We opened a new customer care center in India. We launched our proactive customer care team, and we expanded our BA City Flyer and BA Euroflyer services. The next few slides, you'll see some more details regarding our $9 billion investment into the airline. So as we continue our journey to a better British Airways, we've set up a best-in-class transformation plan that we're going to execute over the next 3 years. And this plan contains over 600 initiatives and 3,000 milestones, which are backed by a $9 billion investment over the coming years. This year, we're going to take delivery of new aircraft, introduce new cabins, elevate our customer care, focus on operational performance, and continue to address our environmental impact by reducing our emissions and creating a culture of sustainability that's visible to our customers. A new British Airways website, app, free Wi-Fi messaging, cabins, seats, investment in first class, and new routes will all be rolling out later this year. Already in Q1, we flew 93% of our 2019 capacity, and our D15 levels reached 78.6%. Which is our highest since the pandemic. And why that is important is because that means we're getting more of our flights away on time, which means your customers that you're booking on British Airways will make their connections and make it to their destinations without being significantly delayed. Development work continues on our new website and app, and customers will enjoy a much improved, seamless user experience on both platforms, and they will launch later this year. Already live, British Airways Executive Club members can actually already message for free at 35,000 feet, and is a great tool for keeping in touch with friends, family, and even colleagues on the ground. These Wi-Fi enhancements that we've already rolled out also allow our customer care teams to take a proactive approach to resolving situations whilst your customers are in flight. BA also announced that we're set to open another brand new lounge, this time in Dubai, which is relocating to a much larger space at Dubai International Airport. And this lounge will feature the brand new British Airways lounge design concept, and we'll also be adding another new lounge, this time in Miami, later in 2025. We'll also see a refresh of many of our global lounges, including Edinburgh, Seattle, and Lagos. And just to remind you, in the US, we do offer dedicated British Airways lounges in 8 of our US gateways, including 3 lounges that are co-branded with American Airlines at JFK. Thank you, Greg. AI will play a bigger part of our business as we utilize this technology to improve many aspects of the airline, including bookings and baggage handling. This June this past June just gone marks the first month of implementing important elements of our new Heathrow operating model, also known as a better Heathrow, with colleagues above and below wing now working in smaller teams with their line managers responsible for dedicated areas. We're hearing lots of positive feedback from colleagues on this new model, which is about providing greater support to our people to deliver a better experience for your customers. We continue to focus on making changes that will make a big difference to our customers and to your customers, especially to improve this experience during disruption. In July, we launched a new digital rebooking tool called Optimized Passenger Recovery, which rebooks customers automatically on nearly every major airline carrier if the original British Airways flight is no longer operating or they miss their connecting flight. This new platform is part of our transformation investment program to improve our customers' journey and experience, and has seen very positive results. In fact, over the first 10 days of launching, we've helped more than 20,000 customers to proactively book to 36 different airlines. Originally, when customers received an email alerting them of a change to their scheduled journey, they would be rebooked onto alternative BA flight with one of our partners, like American, Iberia, Japan Airlines, or Finnair, and would need to call us to travel with any other airlines. Now, with this investment in new technology, we're able to automatically rebook your customers onto other airlines, including Lufthansa, KLM, or Delta. And this change means more customers have options to choose itineraries that fit with their preferred travel itinerary and will have less impact to their existing travel plans. It also frees up our engagement center colleagues to deal with other customer inquiries. Despite this challenging environment, we're consistently outperforming our competitors in Frankfurt, Amsterdam, and Paris, thanks to the hard work and resilience of all of our teams. At the heart of our improvements is a new seat and cabin for our short-haul fleet. The short-haul seats and cabin interiors will feature on the next generation of Airbus A320neo and A321neos, with 8 aircraft set to arrive this year. The redesigned cabins will feature extra-large bins for overhead luggage, and over the course of this year, we expect to take delivery of 14 of these aircraft. We've also announced our biggest aircraft will see a full retrofit. Our beloved A380 will see a brand new and exclusive first suite. We expect the new seat to make its debut at the end of 2025 and into early 2026 as part of the A380's refurbishment. And you'll be pleased to hear that this refurbishment will also see the introduction of our Club Suite product installed on our A380. We will soon be the only airline to offer a true first-class product between the US and the UK. Sustainability is key in our transformation journey, and our BA Better World program is focused where we believe we can make the biggest impact for our business, customers, and for society. In 2023, we increased our usage of sustainable aviation fuels by more than 50,000 tonnes, which mitigated approximately 150,000 tonnes of CO2. Whilst this currently makes up just over 1% of our fuel supply, it's a good step on our journey to reach 10% sustainable aviation fuel usage by 2030. Here you'll see some of the updates from the joint business carriers that have occurred this year. As you'll see, Aer Lingus have had their busiest ever transatlantic schedule with more than a dozen direct routes to the US, including new routes and fresh destinations such as Denver, Minneapolis, and Cleveland. American Airlines is also changing their in-flight experience with a wave of onboard product enhancements, including new amenity kits and new meals throughout their aircraft. They'll also feature new business class cabins, which will debut very soon. And at British Airways, we've increased frequencies and added new flights for the summer. Notably, we're currently offering 2 daily flights from San Diego to London Heathrow, adding to the 5 other daily services from Los Angeles, LAX, and San Francisco. Next slide, please. The next several slides focus on our network for summer 2024. And together with our AJB partners, we offer more than 100 plus daily flights between North America, the UK, Europe, and connections beyond. And one of the major benefits to your customers of booking with the AJB is the ability to travel on multiple airlines with just one ticket. The Aer Lingus routes for the summer season are displayed on the screen in front of you, including their new routes to Minneapolis and Denver. And on the next slide, American Airlines shows their AJB routes with the recently added flights from Philadelphia to Copenhagen, Nice and Naples, plus they recently added flights from Dallas and Barcelona. And on the next slide, British Airways, we operate from 26 North American cities. The newest route that we offered, which just recently celebrated its 1-year anniversary, is Cincinnati to London. And on many of our North America flights, as I mentioned, we've increased frequencies, including the double daily service from San Diego, and JFK currently enjoys 56 weekly flights to London Heathrow. On the next slide shows the Finnair routes and their increased frequencies, with Dallas now becoming a daily service. And on the next slide, Iberia, they continue to fly from 9 North American gateways to Madrid. This is our short-haul network for the summer schedule. I'm sure you're very familiar with a lot of the routes that we operate. New routes for the summer include Split in Croatia, Izmir in Turkey, and Agadir in Morocco. Izmir is another new summer route, and Izmir is joining Istanbul, Antalya, Bodrum, and Dalaman to become the 5th Turkish destination on the British Airways network. BA Euroflyer is also launching a new route between London, Gatwick, and Larnaca from November, and this route will complement Gatwick on the Gatwick-Larnaca route as well from Heathrow. On our next slide, you'll see our long-haul network. We launched daily flights to Abu Dhabi this year, following a 4-year hiatus. This route began operating in April, serving the UAE's capital with year-round daily service from London Heathrow. More routes will launch from our winter schedule, which was recently published, including Bangkok and Kuala Lumpur. Our next slide just features updates regarding our Club Suite rollouts and the aircraft which have been fully retrofitted. 787-8s are in the hangar currently being retrofitted, and the 787-10s have already been completed. Most of our Heathrow-based 777 fleet also now feature the Club Suite product, with the A380 getting the product later next year. The next slide just is a reminder of the Club Suite cabin on board our A350 aircraft. And the main benefits of this cabin would be the direct aisle access and the fact that all passengers have a sliding door for increased privacy. How many of you are familiar with our Executive Club program? In case you didn't know, BA offers a rewards program known as British Airways Executive Club. Passengers can use Avios, which is the currency of this program, to redeem them for reward flights, upgrades, hotels, and car rentals. We always highly recommend your customers to join this free program if they're not currently already a member. And on this next slide, I have included some BA agent frequently asked questions. I won't read these word for word, as there's a lot of information on the screen, but this deck will be shared with you afterwards, and there are some frequently asked questions and answers which I think you'll find very useful. On the next slide, I have also included information regarding seat assignments. As I'm sure you are aware, we do charge for seat assignments in Club World, so business class, in World Traveller Plus, Premium Economy, and in World Traveller in Economy class. However, there may be certain situations and circumstances where your customers qualify for free seat assignments. The most primary reasons for that could be elite status. So if they hold frequent flyers elite status with British Airways or a One World equivalent carrier, then they may still be entitled to free seat assignments. And there are other exemptions listed on this slide, such as traveling in first, flying with children, or passengers traveling with disabilities. And more information about our full seat assignment policy can be found on our Travel Partner Connect website. And also I've included a link to an external site called Aerolopa. And this is a very, very useful resource if you're looking to look at seat maps for specific aircraft. If you're not sure if a specific aircraft has the Club Suite or not, you can use the seat maps on Aerolopa to identify if it is an aircraft with either a 1-2-1 configuration, which would be the Club Suite, or a 2-4-2 configuration, which would be our standard Club World product. Our next slide features information regarding our offloading process, and this is available if you have customers who have already checked in and they've decided they wish to make a change to their itinerary. You can self-manage the offload process without having to call our help desk, and details can be found on this slide in front of you. The next two slides just feature information if you ever have customers that require concierge airport services and premium meet and greet. We do have a partnership with Diamond Air and do have exclusive British Airways discounts available should you wish to take advantage of these services for your customers. Now moving on to Iberia. I do represent Iberia in addition to British Airways here in North America. And some of the updates throughout this year already for Iberia is that they continue to be ranked as one of the most punctual airlines in Europe. Iberia also continues to maintain its 4-star Skytrax rating, and new routes have been launched for 2024, including Doha and Tokyo. Also included on the next couple of slides, their comprehensive domestic network and their global network. And this summer, Iberia is consolidating routes that until now operated in July and August. Flights are actually being extended between April and October to Split and Zagreb in Croatia, Catania in Italy, and Ponta Delgada in the Azores, Portugal. In August, connections will also be strengthened. Dubrovnik will reach 15 weekly flights, and Zagreb, Split, and Catania will have up to 9 connections. Added to this is Ponta Delgada, which will have 3 frequencies every 7 days. Iberia will also expand its operations in other European destinations, scheduling flights to Corfu, Mykonos, and Santorini, and Olbia in Sardinia from May to September, as well as to Bergen in Norway. In the next slide, you'll see that Iberia finished the year of 2023 with the start of direct flights between Madrid and Doha, and also, starting later this year, a new route to Tokyo from October. In the summer season, Iberia will also operate 2 daily flights between New York and Miami, 1 daily flight to Chicago, Boston, and Dallas. 7 weekly flights also operate to Los Angeles during the months of June, July, August, and September. And Iberia continues to have seasonal routes to Washington and San Francisco. In addition, Level, which is the IAG low-cost airline, will begin flying direct from Barcelona to Miami, and that actually started in March. These images that you're seeing on your screen now are of the new business class product, which has been introduced on board Iberia's new A350-900. And like the British Airways Club Suite, these seats feature all-aisle access and sliding doors for increased privacy. On the next slide, you'll see the aircraft interiors of Iberia's A330 aircraft, which does feature a different cabin experience, but still features a 1-2-1 configuration. But most notably, there are no sliding doors on this particular aircraft. With the arrival of the A350-900, Iberia has also introduced a new premium economy product. This cabin features more space with an increased seat pitch of 37 inches, wider seats with a greater recline, adjustable headrests and reclining footrests, plus a cocktail table and a larger meal table. These premium economy cabins also include an elevated food service, dedicated and priority check-in and boarding, and an elevated meal service. Iberia continues to be the only AJB carrier to currently offer Bluetooth connectivity for their in-flight entertainment, meaning your customer can use their own headphones for all of the onboard content. And on our next slide, you'll see that Iberia was recently announced by Airbus as the launch customer for their new A321 XLR aircraft. This aircraft will allow Iberia to reinforce its long-haul network, giving them the possibility to operate transoceanic flights with a single-aisle aircraft. This aircraft will feature 2 cabins, business class with 14 lie-flat seats, and economy with 168 of the latest Recaro model seats. Iberia will be the first company to operate this type of aircraft, which will be more efficient and more sustainable, using 30% less fuel consumption compared to its wide-body variants. This aircraft also has larger overhead storage bins for increased hand baggage capacity. And on the next slide, you will see that Boston was announced as the launch route for this service later this year in November, with Washington Dulles being the next route that it will serve. You'll receive a lot more information regarding this product over the next few months, and we're excited to be launching this brand new aircraft. We haven't actually had the pleasure of seeing what the onboard product will look like yet, but as soon as we do, we'll make sure we share that with you all. Iberia also offers a stopover program, which allows passengers to spend anywhere from 24 hours to 6 days in Spain. And this actually has recently been updated, where they now allow up to 9 days in Spain. And this program includes discounted hotel rates, attraction tickets, and a free 48-hour Metro card. And this can all be booked through your GDS. We're going to skip this next slide, Greg, and just this one here, perfect. For detailed travel agency support, please make sure you bookmark the British Airways Travel Trade website. And actually, by clicking that QR code, it will bring you to the new Travel Partner Connect portal. It holds a vast number of resources that may be useful to you. Also features training sessions, live updates, including customer advisories, and additional information on customer guidelines in the event of schedule changes and cancellations. For urgent live agency support, I would urge you to use the Travel Partner Connect phone number, which is 1833 598 4843, and use your dedicated PIN. For all non-urgent inquiries, you can use trade.helpdesk@ba.com. And this email address is actually valid for Iberia queries as well. On the next slide, you will see that Iberia do maintain a separate phone number, that 1-800 number, which is needed to utilize Iberia trade support. No PIN number is needed if you call that number. And lastly, from British Airways and Iberia, we do have QR codes on the screen in front of you. So feel free to snap a photo of those right now. These QR codes will link you to much more information on our products and services that I wasn't able to make time to share with you this afternoon. But you will find a lot of useful resources that you can return to at your leisure. The next couple of slides feature what's new at Finnair. And like I mentioned, Oksana wasn't able to join us on this presentation, but I'll do my best to share some Finnair updates with you, including the fact that they have now completed the rollout of their new onboard product, including their new business class and premium economy. Also, Finnair has adopted the Avios program as the currency for their frequent flyer program. And this is good because it allows your customers to move Avios points between different oneworld carriers. Next slide also details the North America summer network for 2024, including the Dallas-Helsinki service, which is currently 6 times a week, returning to daily service in the winter, JFK being a daily service, also Helsinki-Miami, Helsinki-LAX, Chicago, and Seattle. And like us, they do have a handy QR code on this next slide, which can be used for any agency support queries that you may have with Finnair. With that being said, I just wanted to thank everyone for your continued partnership and support. I know that was a lot of information to take in, so I really appreciate your time and commitment this afternoon. And hopefully we look forward to welcoming you and your customers on board very, very soon. And now I'd like to open it up to any questions that anyone may have, and I'm happy to answer those as best I can.
Great presentation, Christian. Appreciate it. If you can pop open the question pane there, take a look at those questions. You can undock that from the control panel by hitting the little square with a arrow going up to the left.
Yeah.
Okay. You can drag that open and make it bigger, however you want, so you can read them a little easier.
Okay, and great. So I do see a few questions in there. One from Wanda. What does British Airways charge for seats in premium economy? It's a great question. So the seat fees do vary depending on the length of flight. So typically I can let you know that, for example, on a flight from Dallas to London Heathrow, Dallas is where I'm currently sitting right now, you could expect to pay anywhere from $130 to $150 per flight for a premium economy seat assignment. Now, bear in mind, if the customer is not willing to pay that, a free seat assignment would be provided 24 hours prior to departure or at the airport when they check in. And as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, that slide that lists the different exceptions, if there is a particular exception that the customer may apply for, then they may still be entitled to free seat assignments. We have another question for Maureen. She's asking how she can tell if the flight from BWI to London will have the newer business class arrangements. And again, Maureen, that is a great question. I believe currently the aircraft that is operating from Baltimore to London Heathrow is a 777-200, which may or may not have the new Club Suite product. I can tell you the way to know for certain is by looking at the seat map. If you see a seat map that details a 1-to-1 configuration, you can be 100% certain that is the new product. That would be the Club Suite, because every seat has direct aisle access. If you see anything like a 2-4-2 or a 2-5-2 configuration, then that will be our standard Club World product and not the new Club Suite product. That is how you will know for certain. There are aircraft in our fleet that only have Club Suite. For example, the 787-10, the 777-300, the A350-1000. Those aircraft automatically came with the Club Suite already installed. It's the rest of our fleet where it is uncertain as to whether or not it may have the Club Suite. But seat maps are the surefire, certain way to know if they have the new product or not. I'm just looking at some other questions here. And Maria asks, when a couple book business class, they would like to sit together, they must pay for seat assignments. So yes, obviously if you do have two passengers traveling together, then unless they have one of those exemptions, so for example, they have status on BA or they have status on American Airlines, if that does not apply, then they would potentially have to pay for an advanced seat assignment with us. So another question here regarding seats from Laura. She's asking if there will ever be an option to choose seats in advance for business class without paying an additional fee or waiting until check-in. So you're not the first agent to ask this, Laura, and it is feedback that we provide to our revenue management and our upper management. That I know a lot of other airlines do still offer complimentary seat assignments, even in business class. I know even our partner American Airlines, United, Delta, standard seats are typically complimentary. So we have provided this feedback. The business decision currently is that we will still continue to charge for advanced seat assignments. We're not the only carrier to do that. I know Air France, KLM, Lufthansa, some of those carriers do charge for seat assignments. But we've definitely let them know that we would love to see this ability for our agency partners to allow free seat assignments, and it's a great sales tool. So we definitely appreciate the feedback, Laura. Should anything change, we'll of course let our partners know, but currently there are no plans to do away with having to pay for seats unless your customer has one of those particular exemptions where it may still be free of charge for them. It is always worth asking your customers if they do have status, because they may not necessarily share that information with you, and they may be gold or they may be platinum on American Airlines, and that will entitle them to a free seat assignment on British Airways. A lot of questions regarding seat assignments, and a lot of feedback saying that it would be great if we could offer free seat assignments for travel agents to assign. Donna does ask if there is a British Airways travel agent portal. Yes, Donna, there is. The link was shared in this presentation, and it will be shared again when you have. Our new portal is called Travel Partner Connect, and this is where you can go for a lot of training resources and useful information. Also, we publish all of our waivers on there. So, for example, I believe there is a tropical storm that is headed to Bermuda. And so right now we have a waiver in place to cover flights that may potentially be affected by that. And our Travel Partner Connect is updated on a live basis, and you can go there with those resources. Susan's provided feedback about our Seattle lounge, and Susan, I can let you know that Seattle is one of the lounges that is getting a refresh. So hopefully your customers will be experiencing much improved lounge experience. I don't have a timeline as to when that work is going to be completed, but I will definitely see if I can find that out. But it is a lounge that is going to be getting some attention. Just looking through any other further questions. Again, a lot more questions about seat assignments. So thank you for your questions regarding that. And Stephen asks if will all of the partner airlines participate in TSA pre-check? Iberia did not as of last year. Stephen, you'll be pleased to hear that Iberia is now part of the Global Entry pre-check program. They joined actually a couple of months ago. British Airways was already a member. Obviously, American Airlines is already a member, and I believe Finnair as well. So all AJB carriers do now offer Global Entry and pre-check, which is great for your customers when they're obviously leaving and when they're returning from international flights. James asks if we offer agent rates. We do offer discounted agent rates, and more information regarding this can be found on Travel Partner Connect. If you just search for agency discounts, there is a process that can be found regarding the exact process and information that you would need to provide in order to be eligible for discounted flights. Jill's asking a question about, I believe, our OPR program, the automated rebooking process, and how quickly it rebooks passengers, essentially, I think is what I'm understanding. So essentially, the program will kick in only 5 days prior to departure. So if it is a booking that, for example, you have made for travel in December and there has been a cancellation or a schedule change, that new system will not pick that up. That would still need to be manually processed on your queues by yourself and your agents. It's when the travel is within 5 days that the automatic rebooking system will kick in, and it will look at a range of different options that will bring the passenger home with the amount of disruption as possible. Again, more questions regarding seats. So I certainly appreciate that feedback, and it's not fallen on deaf ears. We are certainly open to that feedback. So so thank you certainly for that information. Lots of questions about seat assignments. Shanna's asking if American will move to the Avios program or will they remain separate. To be honest, my personal opinion, Shanna, is I don't believe we would ever see American move to the Avios program. They hold their Advantage program very dearly, and they've found ways to really monetize that program. So I highly doubt we would see American Airlines join the Avios program. However, we may see more One World carriers join the Avios program. Qatar is currently a member. Iberia has adopted Avios, and as well as Finnair. So we'll see potentially more One World carriers adopt the program, but I wouldn't have thought that American Airlines will join. But I could be wrong. It's just my personal opinion. So for Clay asked about recommended connection times in London Heathrow. We do recommend if it's terminal to terminal. So if it's Terminal 5 to Terminal 5, I believe we advise an hour and a half, which should be plenty of time. However, if it's from Terminal 5 to Terminal 3 or any of the other terminals, we do recommend up to 3 hours connection time. This is because the way of connecting between terminals, there isn't really a SkyTrain service. If you're familiar with Dallas, there isn't really an equivalent like that. So getting between terminals can be a time-consuming process. So we always recommend those sort of connection times to ensure that the customer has plenty of time to make their flights. Also see a few people asking again for the links for the Travel Partner Connect and for the for the Finnair support QR code. We're going to be sharing a full copy of the deck, so Greg will be sharing that with you all. So feel free to grab that from the presentation when that comes through. Just see if there's anything else. And if I've not answered your question, so there is quite a few in there, then I will definitely see if Greg can provide me with this list of questions, and that way I can make sure if I haven't answered your question on this call, I will do so afterwards and certainly follow up if I don't know the answer. So one more question here from Maureen. She's asking about London lounges, if they're for business or first class only. We do have a number of lounges at Heathrow. There is the Concorde room, which is exclusive for our Concorde Club customers and also our first class passengers. And then we do have lounges for Club World passengers as well. Unfortunately, lounge access cannot be purchased with British Airways, but if they are eligible either by the cabin they're traveling in or their elite frequent flyer status, they may be able to access the lounges. But our full lounge access policy can also be found on our Travel Partner Connect website. Greg, can I hand it back over to you?
Yeah, and we had several people that jumped on late and were asking about the recording. You bet, this is recorded and we will be getting that out to you probably this afternoon, for sure by tomorrow morning. There was a lot of information on these slides, all the QR codes, all the phone numbers that you wanted, this all there. So you can take a look at that at your leisure and use this as a resource going forward. So thank you so much, Christian, for pushing through to get this one out. We were nip and tuck at the end there, but we did get it to work, and appreciate your patience and effort to get it through.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for the questions. There's some great questions in there. And I'm sorry, I think we could probably be here for the rest of the afternoon with me answering all of them. But I'll definitely see if Greg can share a copy of the questions so I can provide detailed responses to you all. But I really appreciate your time. We really appreciate your support. Please do continue to support the AJB and British Airways and Iberia in particular. We really appreciate your passengers choosing to travel with us. And yeah, if there's anything you need, you have all the relevant support resources. And if not, then you can escalate to your managers who have my contact details.
Very good. Thank you, everyone, for taking time out today. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, everyone. Thank you, Greg.